Sonny's rant on Doctor Strange
Switched round
Multiverse of
because
Madness.
of some kids or something, and I was like, "What kids? You ain't got no kids. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Go, adopt a kid if you really want a kid that
No,
badly. Go
exactly.
adopt one."
It should be interesting that you can follow the story without having to watch anything else. But if you have watched the other stuff, there's little rewards for you along the
Yeah,
way. That's what I thought Endgame done well.
but I remember saying to you at the time, I don't understand why she doesn't just go adopt kids. Like, why is she so? If she could, if you're so hard up about it, go adopt some. And obviously, I didn't get it because I didn't watch the series. So I didn't realize she was fighting for some imaginary kids or whatever it was.
My number 5. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Second half of our top 10, the top 10 best superhero movies ever made. And if you disagree, you're wrong. Ah,
I'm sorry,
can you see what's on there?
I just wanted to see the power. X-Men.
Yeah. So I've picked a single X-Men film. Now I love X-Men. I grew up reading the comics first, and then the cartoon came out. And I remember thinking, so it's picked them characters. And it was a great collection of characters they picked. Films that haven't quite lived up to that original series. But still, what's the best X-Men film? You're wrong. The best X-Men film is X2 from 2003.
The second one?
Yeah. I think so. Now, and I'll tell you why. I really liked the first one, but certain things pissed me off. One, I didn't feel Hugh Jackman was Wolverine. I felt he was like James Bond dressed as Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine, when they tried to make the X-Men film back in the 80s, they was going to have Bob Hoskins as Wolverine. He's supposed to be this little gruff, like little Phil Mitchell type.
Is that why you keep doing the Cockney accent?
Yeah. Get ya.
I'm Wolverine. I'm Wolverine.
He's like Popeye. But he's supposed to be like, and it's the animal magnetism that sort of makes him attractive to women. It's just
Is that why he did Mario instead?
It's me. Yeah. Oh God, I know. Well, Bob Hoskins' career. I mean, I'm not going to stop talking about that. He should have been up there. Some bad choices, but no, it never got made. It was going to have Angela Bassett, I think, as Storm, and Bob Hoskins as Wolverine. It was in the 80s, so it wouldn't have been great special effects wise, but it never got made. So when Hugh Jackman was cast, actually, you know who they was going to have before Hugh Jackman? It's famously Dougray Scott, who was in Mission Impossible 2, Scottish actor. So he missed a big trick there because there was delays on Mission Impossible 2. He couldn't do Wolverine. So last minute, they got Hugh Jackman in.
I'm not sure who that is.
Exactly. So he screwed up there, didn't he? But before him, the first people they approached was Russell Crowe to be Wolverine. Now that I could see because he's not 6'2". He's probably about 5'9", I think. And he'd done films like Romper Stomper and LA Confidential, where he plays this horrible sort of gruff. And funny enough, it's because of LA Confidential that he turned it down because he thought the Wolverine character was too much like his Bud White character in LA Confidential. Him, I think, would have been good casting, but he's too old now, too fat. So when the next Wolverine, they've really got. Anyway, so X-Men 1, I thought they miscast Wolverine. They miscast Rogue. Rogue was supposed to be like this strong, sexy, sassy Dubbins. And so she was like
some like
Anna Paquin, I think it was.
Teen, innit?
I can't touch people. And it's like, God. And Cyclops, I felt was miscast.
And she's also a redhead, isn't she? Am I remembering that?
She's just big, strong, sexy, sassy woman with like some bodysuit. Like, hey, sugar, I know you want this, but you can't get it. You'll never get this. That's what she used to do in the cartoon. She used to go, you'll never get this, you'll never get this. And then Cyclops, James Marsden, I think he's a great actor, but he totally miscast as Cyclops. Cyclops should have been someone like John Hamm, someone like big, sort of all-American, big chin, big square jaw.
Basically like Captain America.
Yeah.
That sort of
like,
look,
yeah, exactly. But even more, he should have been this really sort of clean-cut, all-American, and James Marsden's just a little bit too pretty boy, young and skinny. for me. So when you see him
Bit
against
small as
Wolverine,
well,
and
yeah.
Wolverine was bigger than him, I thought that's the wrong dynamic. He's supposed to be this big towering man over Wolverine. Wolverine looking at, yeah, I'll get ya. I get you good. Ching. Famke Janssen, I thought was miscast as Jean Grey because she was too womanly. She knew too much. She was too sort of, especially coming off the back of Goldeneye, because she was the one in Goldeneye who kills people by crushing them with her legs.
I don't remember.
Anyway, she's very sort of very attractive, very sexy, but I felt Jean Grey's supposed to be more naive, and it didn't come across. She's too worldly wise. She's too wise. So anyway, all that casting stuff I had to get on board with. So then by the time part 2 came out, I'd made peace with that. So any mistakes from part 2 is only the same mistakes that were from part 1, which is the casting. Other than that, I thought it was fantastic how they took a solid start and then expanded the universe. You found out a bit more like Wolverine. At the moment, I think Wolverine's overplayed. He's only one character. He's one character out of many. He's an ensemble.
Yeah.
It's always supposed to be an ensemble, but it's like, imagine like you watch every Avengers film and every single one is purely about Iron Man. You'd go, what about the other characters? They've got their own merit. They've got their own tragic stories.
Wolverine has always been a very popular character.
He's a fan favourite, yeah. But
and they just play on that, don't they?
Yeah, but it's just weak. I think they should just really build up the supporting characters. But I really liked X2. I thought they gave him a bit more to do. They started expanding the universe. Brian Cox makes a brilliant villain.
Did you say this was number 4?
5. This is number 5.
I was going to say, did we miss one?
What's your number 5?
Well, I put Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay.
No, and it's not the Justice League you was talking about earlier, the rushed one. This version, although it is very long, which is the reason why I've only seen it once.
God, it's like 4 hours,
yeah,
or longer.
Yeah, and I guess if you watched it in the sections where it's cut off, then maybe it's more digestible. But
should have been a mini series.
Overall, as soon as I watched it, I was like, this is what I want to continue watching.
And then you started wearing this every day.
Yeah. But I instantly started thinking, I really would enjoy
more about
the follow-up to this, like the next movie. This is what Justice League should have been. Because notoriously everyone knows that he had issues, obviously, personal issue. I think his daughter passed or something, didn't it? Or something like that.
I remember, or was it his wife?
I can't remember the exact timeline with it, but he ended up kind of leaving and they got the other guy in who then decided to cut a lot of it and reshaped it into what they released, what Warner Brothers released. And also I think Warner Brothers didn't want this super long movie and kept telling him that he needs to cut it. But it turns out he had the much better movie. Because the changes they made in the Justice League they brought out the first time round, half of it didn't even make sense. You were just expected to know some stuff. And it wasn't built up really well. And like you said, that one of the parts of the problems is that a lot of the characters hadn't been built in other movies. So they were doing a bunch of that in this movie as well.
Yeah, particularly the Flash and Cyborg.
But
because Aquaman, Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman, you sort of felt as if you knew enough about them.
Yeah.
They didn't really have to go into their backstory. But the Flash's solo film only just came out last year. The Flash I felt was totally miscast. Ezra Miller, not just because obviously since then he's turned out a bit problematic, as they call it. I still felt as if they should have, because the DC superheroes, I think they should all be about at least 6'2", big sort of broad guys. And they got it right. Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, even when Ryan Reynolds was the Green Lantern, you think that's the right size, big muscly guy. And I felt the Flash is sort of scrawny
Do you know what? I remember when everyone first said Ben Affleck was cast as Batman, everyone hated it. Everyone hated the idea. Turned out he was a good Batman. He was really good. He was probably one of the better ones.
The reason I was pleased, I found out about it through a Kevin Smith podcast, and Kevin Smith, being friends with Ben Affleck at the time, was really excited for him, and he's saying, trust me, he's the biggest fan of Batman. He's got his own room, he's got all his Batman memorabilia. I thought, well, that's a good start. you know, Henry Cavill was notoriously a nerd for things. So you thought, well, people who care about the subject that they're doing are going to invest more into it.
Yeah.
But Cyborg, I felt was sort of. I think there was too many characters. I would have taken out Cyborg
No,
personally.
he's one of the team though.
No, but not always. Justice League is like the Avengers. It's like a long roster of people you could have in it. They could have had Green Lantern in it
Well,
because they did. The
anytime
thing
you
is,
see the cartoons and stuff, Cyborg's usually part of it.
I know the Green Lantern film was crap, right, with Ryan Reynolds, but if they just thought, you know what, we've made it now, at least people know who the character is, they could have slotted him in where Cyborg was. And that way you wouldn't have to worry about backstory because people go, oh, we know who that is. He was in a really crap film. But don't worry about it because, you know, you think of the Avengers films,
But they could have cast the same guy.
You look at the films building up to Endgame of all those Marvel films, so about 20 odd films, there's only about 5 of them that are really good. The rest of them are mediocre or shit.
Mm.
You know, there's some of it, like Guardians is great. Guardians of the Galaxy. The first Iron Man is really good. The other two I wasn't too bothered about. Thor Ragnarok is good. I didn't like the first 2 Thor films. I didn't like the first Captain America. You know, so there's loads of shit films. But just because someone does a shit film doesn't mean, all right, let's just get rid of him. I personally would have said, listen, we've invested in Ryan Reynolds. He's still a big enough name. He fits the mold. They could have just stuck him in the film. I mean, he's a popular character.
Maybe the guy they cast for Cyborg is a bit young, but he could have been Green Lantern as well, though.
He could have been.
Because Green Lantern is notoriously a black guy, isn't it?
Why notoriously?
Well,
like it's bad.
Notoriously. Not notoriously, wrong word.
Yeah,
but like
there's
anytime you see the cartoons, he's usually the black guy.
Well, there's different Green Lanterns. One of them, yeah, I can't remember his name now. God, what was his name? It's not Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan is the first one. I hate it. Oh, I remember now. It's
John Stewart.
You remember?
Yes.
Okay, good. No, okay, that's solid. Justice League.
But yeah, it was so good. I genuinely thought, like, this is the movie it should have been. Everything was explained.
Mm.
You understood what was happening. There was more, obviously, much more scenes. It could have been potentially just split into 2 movies, and you would have had just 2 really good movies.
Yeah, I felt. I mean, it could have been like a 4-part miniseries. So it's like each episode was an hour long. People have gone, I fucking love that miniseries, the Justice League one. But of course, sometimes people just don't know what to do with something.
But they're not even following it up, are they?
No,
that makes me hate it. That not the movie makes me hate the company that is dealing with all this rubbish.
They don't want to commit to one thing. They go, oh no, it's a separate universe. This is a separate universe. This is a separate universe. Oh, we've got Joker comes out. That's a separate. That's not that Joker. It's a different Joker.
Like, the complete opposite to your X-Men.
My X-Men.
No, your argument with X-Men.
Yeah.
About the miscasting.
Yes.
Like, a lot of it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Now, with the Justice League, it was actually the other way around. It's only like the one that you would think that, like you said, Flash maybe, that is not that great. But it's fine because the others are cast so good.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. I agree. I think they could have used the same actor as Cyborg, but as stuck him as Green Lantern.
Potentially.
Because they had already looked into the Green Lantern core.
I think Cyborg's a good character. And
no, he's a good character.
He is usually in the cartoons and stuff. You do see him
I don't watch the cartoon. Yeah, you're thinking of Teen Titans.
Am I?
I don't know. He's in Teen Titans. He's in Teen Titans.
But there's one that's
he's not for me. Like, if I went into the living room and I said to my mum, I showed her a picture of Batman. I said, who's this? She'd say, Batman. Who's this? Superman. Who's this? Wonder Woman. No, that's Aquaman, Mum. You know, she'd know there's those A-list ones, and that's sort of what they've done with the Avengers, with the characters they had. Right, let's get Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk. You know, but the Flash, he has to be in it, but they could have got someone more fitting for the Flash. I really like the Flash series from the 90s.
I suppose Green Lantern is a big one, isn't it?
I felt as if imagine, did you ever see any clips from the old Flash series from the
I
90s?
don't think so.
His costume in that and the way he's portrayed in that would fit so much better in the Justice League.
Mm.
I'll show you a clip of it afterwards.
There's also the other character. I forget his name. She's like a Viking queen, like kind of like a Viking. Yeah, it's like a Thor almost. Like, but she's got that mace.
Hawk Girl,
Maybe.
maybe. She's not in it though, is she?
No.
No.
Right, my number 4 I put as Endgame, but I feel like
I didn't talk about it enough.
I feel like I only put it so high on the list because it's such a. I don't feel like it's such a fantastic movie. I think it was more at the time. It had that big high. It had that whole coming together, like you said. And
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't work if you've never watched any of the other superhero films. You sat there and watched it on its own merit. You'd probably be mildly entertained. You'd probably be entertained. I wish I knew what was going on. But it's the payoff for the fans of the people who's invested watching all the films leading up to it. And I thought it was such a good payoff. I'll be very surprised if Marvel ever are able to emulate that.
I think,
especially because those characters, like Iron Man's dead now, Captain America is dead now. You know,
I think a lot of it. But the thing is, like, a lot of people would be expecting Endgame to be up there as one of the best ones. So I think that might have influenced my decision making and putting it so high.
I know. I think it's a good call. I think, as I said, it's on my list. It's not as high, but as I said, if it weren't for the films that came
said it much
after,
lower, I started thinking, "Oh, actually, you're probably right. It probably shouldn't be so high. There are
but
better ones."
this is the thing. I also know, as I'm saying it, you shouldn't base things on other films that come afterwards. But there's so many films that I've watched. I remember I used to watch Zoolander a lot.
Mm.
Then I watched Zoolander 2, and I've never watched Zoolander again because it just ruined the character. It ruined the possibilities. Sometimes when something finishes, you sort of like to think, I wonder what happened afterwards. When they come out next week, oh, here we go. He lost all that money, and now he's a tramp again. You think, just undone all the things, you know?
Yeah.
But that was your number 4.
Yes.
My number 4 is Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2.
Is it?
Yeah. Spider-Man 2. I think it's
the Tobey Maguire.
Toby the Toby.
Toby the Toby.
Toby Jug.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Can't see him in that, though.
Spider-Man 2, directed by Sam Raimi. It's got Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what edges it for me. I loved the first Spider-Man, apart from I didn't like the Green Goblin costume, which sounds like a small thing, but Green Goblin is his most iconic villain.
He's more of a hood. He's in the cartoons and stuff.
It's a hoodie.
He has more of a hoodie and stuff, isn't he? He's more in the dark.
They actually, when they done Spider-Man No Way Home and William Dafoe came back, they actually made him more like the Green Goblin in a way because they gave him more like sort of relaxed hoodie type stuff, the right colours.
Yeah.
When you look at some of the making of the first Spider-Man, you see they toyed with the idea of having this rubber sort of goblin mask. That would have been better. I didn't like all that metal sort of junk stuff. But part 2, I felt that his motivation was great. You see him and his wife. He seems like a really nice guy. His wife dies, and it was a tragic character.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought it was such a great character that it really sort of helped elevate the film even more. And Sam Raimi really liked old Spider-Man, the old Spider-Man villains. So this is why, and I know I loved this film so much because when I went and see part 3, I was so excited for part 3. I actually felt sick in the cinema. I was like, oh God, this is good. Oh God, this better be good. I actually felt physically sick. I was so excited. And you could tell from watching part 3 that Sam Raimi cared about the old characters because Sandman's the great villain. And Venom, who turns up in part 3, it's like, crap, shit. And he's one of my favourite villains.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, what I would have preferred, you've seen part 3, haven't you?
Yeah.
So the symbiote falls from down in the church, falls on Eddie Brock, like it does in the comics and the cartoon. And then he leaps at the camera. And then you got like the next 15, 20 minutes, the big battle at the end and stuff like that. It's really shoehorned in. What I think they should have done is ended the film with him leaping at the camera. Because people would have been like, oh, I can't wait for the next film. Then Spider-Man 4 would have been greenlit, and everyone would have been losing their shit, because that way Sam Raimi wouldn't have had to put Venom in it, because he literally becomes Venom with the very last shot and jumps at the screen. People would have been really crazy for it. It would have ended the film in like a real dour note, like Empire Strikes Back type thing, because they would have gone, oh, well, Peter's lost Mary Jane. He went a bit mental on Sandman and beat him up in the sewer and stuff.
And it wouldn't have. You could have expanded on everything a little bit more, innit? Because in that third one, Venom, he disappears for a while.
Well, no, he just
he's more of a background villain, and then
he turns up
there for the final fight.
Well, he only sort of comes up at the end. He's going to Sam. Don't you want to kill him? I do. And he's like,
I agree.
Part two,
the second one was great. It was definitely great. It was hitting some real good highs, and it was like
as that fight on the train where he has to sort of.
You had a solid foundation already, and they were just building on top of it, and it was good. There was a lot of good fights in it. Peter was at times hitting his stride, and then at times you could see he was faltering in other ways.
And it
had a lot of character building. I felt like you got to see a lot more of Peter struggling and stuff, which is part of the reason why we like Spider-Man. It makes him much more relatable.
Exactly.
Even
trying to keep his job. And stuff like that.
Yeah, just little comedic
moments.
And
J.K. Simmons, anyone's with J.K. Simmons, obviously he's on three of them as J. Jonah Jameson. I thought he was great in all of them. Anyway.
Yeah.
But,
Peter, like, delivering the pizzas, can't open the door, gets told to shush by Ash, the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And the usher. That is the second one, isn't it?
That is the second one. Because the first one, he's in all of them, isn't he, Bruce Campbell? In the first one, he's the ring announcer who calls him Spider-Man. He goes, I'm the human spider. What the shit? He's the Spider-Man. And then in the second one, I think he's the usher, because he's trying to. What is it in the first?
Mary Jane's concert, but he's late because he ended up.
And the third one, he's the maitre d'.
Yeah.
I am French. I thought he was great in all of them. He was actually going to be Mysterio in the fourth one. Bruce Campbell. Yeah, it was going to open with him getting beaten, and so he's actually the same character. It's the same character doing all these different jobs because he's a struggling actor. But no,
that would have been good.
Yeah, and it was going to have John Malkovich as the Vulture.
Wow. Yeah.
So what's your number 4?
I kind of wish they did continue those. It was good. I think it's the third one.
I liked what they done with the
third one is what ruined
with
it.
No Way Home when they brought Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I like that.
What are we on?
Number 4?
Wait.
What have you done 4?
Yeah, we done number 4.
What was your number 4?
Endgame.
And then I done 4, so it's my number 3 then. Right, this is where I really start getting slagged off.
Why?
Because some of my picks, people are going to go, oh, he don't know shit, he don't know film. I don't care. We've already established, these are the best undisputed superhero films of all time. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen this.
I can't even see what that is.
The Punisher from 1989.
Ah.
That's the Dolph Lundgren one.
Not seen it.
And loads of people haven't. Loads of people slag it off without even seen it. That one. Or they've seen it once and gone, he ain't even got the skull on his chest. Yeah, granted, you thought, well, how hard is it to give him a t-shirt with a skull on his chest? But my favourite Punisher comic book series was Volume 2, which was this run. This is issue 1 from Volume 2. Went on for about like 118 issues, of which I've got about 80 odd issues. I liked the continuation of it, the violence in it. It wasn't sort of too spectacular. It was sort of stuck in reality. And what I liked about the Dolph Lundgren one, it just gets straight to the action. It's like an 80s action film. But it also happens to be a Punisher film. Too many people just slag it off just without just thinking, oh, what that shit. You know, you don't really develop the character. It's more entertaining than most of the shit you get now. It's very quotable.
You know, they all think you're dead.
They'll kill each other now. Turn the lights off when you leave.
And what about the children?
They'll kill each other now.
Children of the new bosses are now counted among their losses. They're being held for ransom by the Japanese.
Oh, really?
So the bosses will have to pay up.
Pay they will, and all for naught. The children will be sold by the slave trade. They'll be bought. My God, man, don't you see? This is a result of your 5-year killing spree. You've weakened the fathers to such degrees they couldn't protect their own families.
They'll kill each other now.
And as a result, the innocent now suffer.
You know, he's droning. He sounds like Stallone quite a lot in it, funny enough. But no, I love it. 80s fun, 80s action fun. It's continuous. It's always one thing leads into the next, leads into the next, leads into the next, and it even ends with the ending is a big battle through a building, like you think like Raid
Or Max Payne.
or even Dread,
Stuff like that, yeah.
But it's him having to go through with. So it's Dolph Lundgren plays Punisher. You got Jerome Croby who plays the gangster who. What happens is you got the American mafia. They go to war with the Yakuza.
Okay.
And the Yakuza are ripping them apart. They totally destroy them. And the Yakuza kidnap all the children of the mafia and stuff like that. And Punisher's like, well, they'll kill each other now. My job's done. I don't care about gang wars. But the gangster puts it on him and says, listen, all these innocent kids are going to die. Actually, it's not him. It's this weird guy called Shake, who's like this one who talks in riddles. Not for naught, the kids will die. Blah blah blah. In your eye. And Punisher's like, okay, I'll do it. Shut up, and I'll go save the kids. So he saves the kids, and the mafia guy who hates the Punisher says, "Look, we'll have a truce. Please help me save my son." And he helps him raid this building, taking on all the Yakuza and stuff like that. It's really good fun. And you got Louis Gossett Jr. as Frank Castle's old partner, who's trying to track him down. I love the film, and it is officially the third best superhero film of all time.
Oh, is it?
What's your number 3?
Well, I thought I'd give the animations a bit of a look in.
Yeah.
The Incredibles?
Wrong.
No.
No?
Can't have The Incredibles.
Why?
Because it wasn't a comic book.
Was it not?
No.
I suppose it's more of an original thing.
You have to get another thing. Pick one off your list.
A few inches later.
So what's your number 3, Sonny?
I guess Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Or Hero Turtles, as it's called in this country. Because ninja is a violent word. They said you can't use the N word. It's ninja.
I think this is probably more nostalgia based, and apparently because according to your rules, I can't have The Incredibles. Why did it just fall apart?
I don't know. Why do you? It's 2 issues. I didn't realise. Why do you fall apart?
Yeah, this is
The first one,
Yeah, I guess so.
1990. I think that's the best one out of all of them, with Elias Koteas and Sam Rockwell.
And obviously, we went through this on our previous podcast as well. But yeah, this is only because this has only been shoehorned in last second because I can't have The Incredibles because of your stupid rules. Now, I didn't even think of that, to be honest, because when you said make the list, I was just picking out of that long list.
Yeah, but I did say to you, I have to have been
but
in
that
the comic
was
first.
ages ago, and I forgot.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, Turtles, good choice.
Yeah.
No, it's a good choice.
Turtles.
I enjoy that first one. I remember being disappointed as a kid because it was so dark, I couldn't see what was going on, and we had a pirate version. I was like, I can't see. Is that Raphael? Can't tell. And Raphael's personality, I knew from the cartoon, it's more sort of like snarky, like a Chandler type.
You tricked me! Everybody hates me!
No, little dude. Honest.
Well, hold on. I hate him.
And in the film, he just had an attitude problem. He was like PMT constantly.
Got an attitude, man.
Yeah. Oh, look at him! I got to say.
Yeah, it's just a typical film from its time, I suppose.
But it's well made, and I think the
Very
Jim
well made.
Henson costumes were really good. And
Yeah.
I thought it was good martial arts, The unedited version with them actually fighting and doing rather than it's been cut down a lot since then because they worry about kids hitting each other with nunchuckers. But that's good.
Even though kids these days are not really watching them old movies, are they? Let's face it.
No.
They're probably watching the more violent stuff like Logan and Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, but even still.
Is there kids' versions of that?
Oh, well, I don't think they are watching Deadpool. They're not allowed. But the parents probably let them. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Spider-Man 2.
You can't have that.
Why?
Because I had it. That's the rule.
No, it's not the rule.
No, yeah. Spider-Man 2. 1 second. Let me grab another Spider-Man comic. Spider-Man 2. Yes. I think you're right. Well, that's 2 people who've said it. So, yeah.
That is the one thing I should have said.
What?
The Turtles one.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I've not seen the latest Turtles movie, which, according to the list, is one of the top 10 superhero movies ever made. So
no, it's because one of those things where it's new, people losing their shit about
and it's
something.
the same with Spider-Verse, which I really enjoyed the first one. Is it what one? No, that's not the first one.
Into the Spider-Verse, it is.
Is it?
And then there's Across the Spider-Verse. I weren't a big fan.
I've not seen the second
I thought that
one.
was okay. I thought the animation was good, but I just felt it especially the second one was trying to be something it wasn't. Ideas above its station, going, oh look at it, it's about family and it's about loss, and look at this conversation between him and his dad, and you think, well, I don't care. It's Spider-Man. Fucking fight someone. Punch
But it's
someone
not.
in the face.
It's more. It's more.
Yeah, but if I wanted stuff like that, I'd watch a different film. I wouldn't be watching a superhero
It's not
film.
Spider-Man. It's more about Miles Morales, isn't it?
Yeah, but he is
He's the
Spider-Man.
second Spider-Man, isn't it?
Well, there was Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. He was a Spider-Man.
Well, anyway, either way, I've not seen the second one of those. What are they called again? Spider-Verse and all that.
It's pretty much like the first one.
Is it?
I felt so. I thought, okay, yeah, it's really good animation and it keeps you entertained. Some people just go, oh, you don't get it. And again, I don't care. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
If I see you in the street, come say to me and we'll have a fight.
The first one of that I did really enjoy. I enjoyed like how they brought in.
I enjoyed it.
The different Spider people from different universes.
I thought that was really good, and they didn't run with it in the second one.
The whole multi-universe thing is just overplayed.
Yeah,
it's just starting to be overplayed, and it's their get out of jail free card.
Exactly, it's a
every
cop-out.
storyline they're making. It's like, oh yeah, we can just change the character, and which
we'll make him Dr. Doom.
Like you said earlier about why can't you just recast
Wolverine,
Black Panther now?
Yeah,
you got your cop out, you got your way out.
No, but I mean they recast. There's quite a few characters in the Marvel universe who they recast without even mentioning it, like Rhodey, who's Terrence Howard in Iron Man 1, and Part 2 is Don Cheadle. Is suddenly War Machine.
You're not being fair.
Yeah. Only they did it.
Yeah, so you can do that, and people will go, "Why have you recast?"
Do you think they're just being overly sensitive in case people
so.
get backlash because?
I think so, but I mean, Chadwick Boseman, it was a good actor, but it's not like he's irreplaceable. You could have just got another. You know what? I would have then reapproached Terrence Howard, the guy who lost out on War Machine, and said, "Do you want to be Black Panther now?" We're sorry about before.
But yeah, back to their number 2, Spider-Man 2, for all the reasons we said earlier. A fantastic movie overall. It's always fun to just watch.
And this is your number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 1. Oh, sorry, my number 2. And again, this is one of those ones people go, oh, he's just taking the piss now. Well, I'm not.
Is that Howard the Duck?
Yes. Howard the Duck. Fucking love Howard the Duck.
Do you know what? I've not seen this since I was very young.
Did you enjoy it when you was young?
I think I do.
Yeah,
I have actually re-recorded it on the TiVo just because I thought you've done a podcast on it, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, let me
You'll watch it before you watch the podcast.
I want to rewatch it as an adult so then I can actually understand what's happening.
I really liked it, and it's for me, as I said, no, I've got a poster up there, Howard the Duck. It's one of those films which I can't believe there's so much backlash to it, because when I was a kid, anyone who watched Howard the Duck went, oh no, it's really fun, that film. I really enjoy it. it sort of nails the character, like Harry's this oddball sort of living in a human world, and it's not like every 5 minutes like, oh my god, it's a duck. I mean, sometimes it is, but more often than not, like he's getting a job in like some dirty whorehouse, and people just, hey, you clean out this and do that, and they make peace with the fact that he's a duck quite quickly, and they go, that's a good costume or whatever. And his relationship with Beverly in it, Leah Thompson, that's the thing. Those people, oh look, she's gonna have sex with a duck. It don't go that deep. She flirts with him a bit, don't worry about it. And the score is amazing, John Barry's score. But yeah, like you said, I've already done a podcast on this, so I'm not going to talk anymore.
To be fair, there's been quite some of these have had really good scores that we've been saying. Like Wonder Woman, that's really good to listen to. It has like a
but I guarantee you,
rock vibe to it.
You look up any list, say top 100 superhero films, you're not going to find Howard the Duck on there, and that's why they're all wrong. Because that is the second best superhero film of all time.
I do need to watch it.
Right, so I should do my number one before you do your number one, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Batman. I have a feeling I know what one you're going to say.
What one?
The first one.
Yeah, 1989 Batman, Tim Burton.
I knew you was going to say. I'm glad that's what you said.
Yeah, because it is the best superhero film of all time. I should have done honourable mentions first. 1 second. Now, you're not going to guess what my number one is. I'm going to tell you some honourable mentions. These are ones which I considered and didn't quite make the list. Logan, which you put.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I see that recently. It wasn't that good.
I
imagine the game's better.
Well, you would.
No, I would. Was that? I didn't even realize. I thought it was a game first and then a movie.
No, it was a comic first and a movie, then a game.
See.
But no, Lily will be disappointed that's not on the list. And I thought about it, but it sort of dips into that world of, is it superhero? I mean, it is a bit, but no, it didn't quite make my list. Dredd, I really liked because it wiped the memory of Judge Dredd from the 90s, the Sylvester Stallone.
Now, Dredd, when I first saw that, I didn't like it so much.
No.
I didn't. I've never actually watched it again since because I didn't like it.
It's good.
I actually preferred the old one.
Oh, fair enough. The thing is, I really like the Judge Dredd character, and I still think they've got to give it another go. I liked what Carl Urban done with it, and I think bring him back, do another Dredd film, but don't just stick it in one building.
I think that's what I hated about it.
I didn't mind that because I thought it was like the Raid type thing, but I would really like to see Judge Death on screen. But anyway,
Yeah, the old one I really enjoyed. It's actually kind of fun.
Darkman, you seen Darkman? 1990.
Darkman Duck.
Yeah, Darkman, and there's the bit where he wins. Like he's playing some ball thing. It's Sam Raimi directed it. Liam Neeson's like this oddball, like superhero bloke who's screwed up in the head, and he wins. He goes, "I want the elephant," and the man points his finger at him, and he bends his fingers back.
Take it down. Take it. Take the fucking elephant. Please, no. Forgive me.
Hey, wait!
Anyway, Joker, I thought about. Joaquin Phoenix. But
it's not really a superhero movie, though.
Well, he's a villain.
Yeah, but he's not at the same time.
Yeah, but even still, if I wanted it in my list, I'd have had it. If you had it in your list, I would have let you have it.
No, I don't.
You know what's really undone Joker? It's Joker 2, Follow It Do. Because...
Which I've not seen.
I won't bother. I'd liked it for most of it. You're not going to watch it. It's a musical. So, and I was on board with that. And I liked the film all the way up to the end. And I thought, where's the bit like in the first one where he sort of suddenly turns it all round. And where's the bit where you go, he's so downtrodden all the way through, you think, but he'll have his moment in the sun at the end of the court case. Instead, he sort of gives up, and that's it. And you think, oh. And then, spoiler for Joker 2, he gets stabbed and dies in the prison.
Oh.
And it turns out, and the Todd Phillips, the director, goes, no, he's not the Joker, he's a Joker. And the guy who stabs him, you see him start cutting his mouth in the background, laughing. So you think, oh, that's supposed to be Heath Ledger's Joker, which doesn't make sense because they've got Harvey Dent in it.
It's
and
supposed to be a different universe.
Yeah, and it is because Harvey Dent's in it, and there's an explosion, and there's a bit where he's sitting there, and you think, oh, okay, that's how Two-Face is made. I get that, but no, it's unfortunate. It's not the worst film ever, like some people have you believe, but it's not great. As I said, Superman didn't quite make my list. Constantine.
Oh,
that's a comic.
I didn't know that.
And I really liked that, Constantine.
I didn't know that was a choice.
Yeah. Hellblazer comic. He's supposed to look like Sting and have a British accent, but he's still, I thought it was really good, the Keanu Reeves one. It was an entertaining film, and I'd like to watch it again. The Dark Knight, obviously. That's often regarded as one of the best superhero films, but for me, doesn't quite make my list. And I'll explain why in a minute. Doctor Strange, Deadpool, I didn't have in. Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
I really liked.
I really enjoyed that one as well.
Good espionage. But my number one is Batman from 1989 by Tim Burton. And I think it's the best Batman film. The reason, and I think Dark Knight is actually like a remake of Batman. Which sounds silly because well, obviously it's got Batman, but
should I just tell you, should I just say my number one?
Is it the same?
It's The Dark Knight.
Really?
Yeah, and then because you keep saying it and you're half talking about it as well, I might as well just say that.
Go on then. So what's your number one?
My number one is The Dark Knight.
That's fair enough. So I really like The Dark Knight, and it's one I can watch multiple times. But
it's strong throughout.
It is, and it's a serious film. It's like a real film.
Yeah,
you haven't got to be a fan of a superhero film to watch it, but I do think that the '89 Batman beats it because it's more of a superhero film for me, and I liked what Tim Burton done because up to that point, superhero films were sort of put in one sort of category, and also he's made it more serious. And there's certain scenes in The Dark Knight which is basically like an update of scenes from '89 Batman, like. The very first time in '89 Batman, when the Joker, not Jack Napier, but the Joker sits down with the other criminal empire. So he sits down with all the other crime bosses. He ends up killing one of them. What happens in The Dark Knight? The very first time Joker, he kills him with a pencil.
Pencil on the table, isn't it?
And obviously in the '89 Batman, he does it with a handshake, the buzzer. There's also when Batman and Joker's fighting in the street.
Yeah.
Batman's coming at him with the plane, and Joker just stands there. Come on, get me, get me, get me. And he doesn't, and he crashes. What happens in Dark Knight?
Yeah, with the bike, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going, hit me, ah!
And then Batman swerves out the way last second.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah.
It is a huge, the '89 Batman was a huge influence on Chris Nolan. And there's certain things I don't think would have happened in The Dark Knight had it not been for the '89 Batman. I think it laid the groundwork for The Dark Knight. And what I love about the '89 Batman is also the, you know what? You can have that in front of you. The soundtrack, the Prince soundtrack. Top 5, it's definitely in top 5 Prince albums for me. Those people slag this off, but it's actually really decent. Or more than decent, it's amazing. Next time you want to get your missus in the mood, put on Scandalous.
I think The Dark Knight is just strong throughout. Like, when I think this is the only reason why I put it towards the top of my list because
at the top of your list.
Well, yeah.
But
the reason why it was constantly, even in my thoughts, towards the top of the list is because it is just a strong movie throughout. Like, I can't really think of any real proper weak moments in it. It's always moving forward. You know.
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, if if it weren't for that rule where you can only have one of each superhero in your top 10, if that weren't in it, Dark Knight probably would have been in my top 10 because it is a film which out of the trilogy, it's definitely the strongest of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Heath Ledger was probably the best Joker.
No.
In my opinion, he is.
No, you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. You're just upset.
Get out!
You're just upset. You know it's true.
No, he's not.
It's
not true.
He was by far the better.
He weren't even the Joker. He's playing Tom Waits. He's playing someone completely different who's a bit like the Joker. I know how I got these scars. Listen, I liked him a lot. I dressed up as him as a costume once. I thought it was a fantastic interpretation of the Joker. But I'm not even going to say Jack Nicholson is the best Joker, but Jack Nicholson I preferred over Heath Ledger. I felt he was more like how the Joker should be. I still don't think they've nailed the Joker properly in film. I think he's, I liked Mark Hamill's sort of cartoon version of him back in the 90s. And how you sometimes see him in like the Arkham games and stuff. The Joker in a certain way.
Which is also Mark Hamill.
You know who nearly played, I've said this before, but who nearly played Joker in that Batman? They went for Robin Williams at one point. Who would have been interesting. William Dafoe, who obviously played Green Goblin in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But they also considered Tim Curry. And I thought Tim Curry could have made a fantastic Joker. He voiced the Joker in the series for like 6 episodes and then they replaced him because he was too scary. But that could have really changed the trajectory of his career. And the music, not just the Prince soundtrack, but the score by Danny Elfman, it's one of those sort of, it's almost like a comfort film to me. I can sit there and watch it and it's the way it ends and now they go, how do we call him? He gave us a signal. And they switch on the thing and it's just like Batman saying, do it yourself. And it built up so well. And I think what maintains it is the sequel, Batman Returns, is actually really good as well.
Yeah,
and
which I was going to potentially put on my list.
And I think them as a brace of films, because I don't consider Batman Forever and Batman and Robin in the same universe. I know they're supposed to be, but I don't, because so many things change. Gotham, everything changes.
Yeah.
So those two films.
Returns, I prefer. But I think it's because I grew up watching that one more. That's the one with Danny DeVito and that, isn't it?
Yeah, Danny DeVito's Catwoman
Penguin
and Michelle Pfeiffer as Penguin.
But I did want to, that was one of ones I was thinking about putting in. But then I just thought to myself, The Dark Knight is just so much stronger than those movies. It just is. It's just, even like the initial scenes, it's like a bank robbery happening.
Oh, well, I thought the opening to The Dark Knight was really good. I thought it was great how he got them to sort of off each other.
Yeah. It's very clever. That's what I'm saying. It's very good. And you're never quite sure what Joker's plan is, or how he's like he wants to be in that prison cell, for example. Everything.
Yeah, that's a bit convoluted.
Everything is happening the way he kind of wants it to happen.
Like he done all that because he knew that he would get caught and he'd be stuck in the prison. I don't know. It was a little convoluted. Things like that sometimes sort of are a bit annoying. You think,
I think
when someone's laid that much groundwork to get, when you get from A to B, and you go to all these different letters to get there, you think, well, surely he could have cut out a few things.
I think they're mostly just backup plans, isn't he? Mostly just making it up as he's going along a bit, but he just has a lot of contingency plans in place.
A bloke coming in, sent in the cell with a mobile phone stitched into his stomach. I don't know. See, what I liked...
Judges and that dying as well.
You've seen Seven, haven't you?
No.
Let's sing. Okay, well, in Seven, not so much, it's a bit of a spoiler, but basically, they're struggling to catch this guy, and because part of his plan is getting caught, he literally just walks into the prison and goes, yeah, you're looking for me, and hands himself in. And I think it's simple, but it's what realistically would happen. I think if Joker wanted to be in the cell, it's not as interesting as the big build up to it and the big fight in the street, but he could have just literally gone, we're never going to find the Joker, and he could have just walked in and go, well, here I am. And they could have arrested him. Why is he giving himself up? And then it would have been more believable. But for him to think, knowing this sequence of events, this is going to happen, and Jim Gordon has lied and pretended to be dead.
But I think, like he says in the hospital, it's all about the chaos.
Yeah,
isn't it? That's what it's about. It's about the chaos. Maybe like he's hoping, like he's put all these contingency plans and these other plans in place that are just going to happen regardless of what he does.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get that.
And so if Batman does run him over and kill him, all that other stuff is still going to happen anyway. Most of it.
Well, kind of, because then the bloke gets arrested, put in the cell with a phone and I don't feel well.
Yeah.
They would have gone, well, this
to
guy...
blow up the place.
Yeah,
stuff.
but he only blew up when Joker phoned him. So otherwise, no one would have phoned him, and he would have just gone. He'd have probably just died in his cell.
Yeah,
but
maybe the plan would have been like altered slightly, where someone else does the phone call or something. That's what I'm saying. There might have been some.
There's too many. Yeah, listen, I really enjoy. I'm not slagging off the film because I enjoy it. I think it's. I don't want to say second. I think it's top 3 Batman films.
Right, it's kind of. I feel like it's quite rewatchable.
I think it's my 3rd favorite Batman film after Batman and Batman Returns. But for me, this is the best one. For me, this is rewatchable. I can watch it so many times. I think Michael Keaton is the best Batman we've had. The best Bruce Wayne. I feel what he done with the costume, going so dark and all black costume. Because before that, it wasn't like Batman was sort of goofy almost.
Saying that though,
they considered Bill Murray for Batman.
Ben Affleck's Batman is quite dark.
Yeah, but I'm saying this started it. This put the idea that superheroes can be in a darker universe, and still be popular. This was so huge when it came out. Absolutely, it occupied everyone's talking time in my primary school. Everyone's Batman, I can't wait for the next one. And you knew Danny DeVito was going to be Penguin before anyone else knew, because it was obvious. It was, he's going to be him. Anyway, but it makes a good point, because remember I said top superhero of all time is probably Batman.
Who's your favourite one though?
My favourite superhero? I don't know. I prefer Punisher. The reason I prefer Punisher over Batman is because I think he is a realistic version of Batman. If your family was killed by gangsters, would you spend...
What's this, an advert?
Please call. Has your family been killed? No. In Batman, so he's this poor little rich boy. His mum and dad get shot in front of him. He spends the next, 20 odd years training and I'm going to be... and dress up as a bat. And he's got all this stuff that he can buy. It's great. Yeah, okay. Whatever. I'm not slagging him off. I like him as a character. However, I think Frank Castle is more tragic in the sense that he'd served his time in the war. He's retired. He's in the park with his wife and his 2 children. His kids are playing in the park. They accidentally stumble across a drug deal that's going on, so they get killed. His wife gets killed. He gets shot, presumably killed, but he survives. And imagine how angry. Now, losing your parents, it's upsetting. I've lost my dad. You've lost your mum. It's upsetting. But it's the order of things. Your parents are supposed to die before you do. But to see his children get shot in front of him, and his wife, woman he loves most in the world, his family has been destroyed in front of him. And rather than spend the next 20 years learning martial arts, because he already was a decent fighter because he was a military vet, and rather than get a bat car and I want to look like a bat when I'm beating them up, he just literally just gets all the guns that he can get and he just murders people. He doesn't sort of toy with them, doesn't have all these sort of plans. I need the bat sonar. He goes and finds the gangs and goes, right, you're fucking dead. You're dead. You're dead.
I suppose he's got nothing to lose anymore now.
Yeah, but what's Batman got to lose? His money.
Alfred.
No, but with Punisher, and it's so
lifestyle, I suppose, isn't it? Like if you're super rich, you still got something to lose.
And he's so sort of resourceful. It's like, I remember there's this one. He's in this restaurant in Chinatown, and he's literally just minding his own business. All of a sudden, these guys come in robbing the place or something. So he just gets the chopsticks and stabs them into someone's eye. It's quite a gruesome comic. And unlike Batman's role, which really wouldn't work, which is like, I know it sort of depends what version you look at. He doesn't kill people, although in this he kills people. It's probably why I prefer it. But Punisher just has no qualms. I'll kill you. You cross the road, kill you. You cross the road without looking, both kill you. Kill
You dead. You dead.
He's like the most feared in no Civil War.
Yeah.
Right, in the comics Civil War, so you had basically there was this thing where it says all superheroes' identities had to be revealed, and half of them agreed with it, half didn't. So that's the real reason behind Civil War in the comics. Punisher didn't care either way because everyone knew who he was, Frank Castle Punisher. He's not even a hero. But Captain America's side was the ones who were saying, no, I respect people's privacy. He sided with Captain America, and every single superhero on that team said, don't have him in our team. Even though every one of them could kill him because he's just a human. They was all scared of him because they knew of his rule. You know, and there's a bit where these two villains, because some of the villains are helping Iron Man. So, a couple of villains join Captain America. They go, yeah, we're going to be part of your team. We think anonymity and stuff. And Captain America's like, okay, I mean, I don't like it, but let's shake hands. You'll be on my team. All of a sudden, one of their heads explodes because Punisher's just shot them both. Now, what the fuck are you doing? And Captain America starts beating him up. And he won't fight Captain America because Captain America's a good guy. He won't throw a punch back at Captain America. He says, no, listen, Cap, you want to beat me up, that's fine. He's sort of like, get the fuck out of here. And he goes, listen, I've got my rule, and that is, you're a criminal, I'll kill you. No sort of, well, it was only a chocolate bar you nicked, I'll break one of your fingers. Kill you.
Spider-Man is probably my favourite.
Oh yeah, I love Spider-Man. I think I like Spider-Man over Batman.
Yeah. And yet somehow we both ended up with Batman as the best movies.
Well, I think they were the best movies.
Do you think that maybe it's because even though he's a billionaire rich kid and that, he's just a little bit more relatable because he is human. He doesn't have the superpowers. I remember someone saying to me...
Punisher!
I remember someone saying
he ain't even got the money.
Someone saying to me before, like, you know, any one of us could be Batman. That's why he's so great. If you had the money...
Who's your mate? Who's your deluded mate?
It wasn't my mate. Someone we worked with before.
Well, I could be Batman. No, Batman's about commitment. I love Batman. Batman's definitely he's in my top 10 superhero. Probably in my top 5.
I think I want to change mine now. I'm going to put Spider-Man up top.
Which one? What, Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but this is the thing with the Spider-Man films. They're fantastic. I still think there's room for improvement.
See, when I consume media,
yeah.
And like, let's say, like they got the Batman animated series, which is meant to be really good. I've seen bits of it. I've never.
What, the old one from the 90s?
I think so.
See, that's the thing. It was of its time. I think
and
if
then,
you watched it
and
now,
then you got
you'd get
Spider-Man
bored.
cartoons, and then I'm like, I sit there. I'd rather watch the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery is better than Batman's Rogues Gallery. Batman's got the second best Rogues Gallery, I'd say, because you think he's got Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Bane, Ra's al Ghul, Catwoman, loads of these. And if you think you can list off all these Clayface, you can name off all these characters. Hush, I really like. But Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, he might not have anyone as iconic as Joker, but
Venom's up there.
Well,
Venom's got his own movies currently.
Yeah, so is Joker.
Yeah, but I mean, the Venom ones are actually super powered.
Well, this is it. Batman would not be able to...
Joker isn't a villain, is he? He's just a sort of mental patient.
But Batman would not be able to beat Spider-Man's Rogue. He wouldn't compete against Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. Would overpower him, I think, eventually. Because you think you've got Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Sandman, Mysterio, Venom, Carnage, Hammerhead, Tombstone,
and Spider-Man pulls his punches as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean he does. But this is the other thing. I think Spider-Man's a better one because he's also, like you said, the struggles. He's got real life struggles.
Yeah, because he's usually, well, it depends on the age range he's usually at, but he's usually like in school or college or something, or he's trying to find work, or he's got like proper struggles, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly, and also he's hated as a character, like in the city. Batman, loads of people, the average person, most of them like Batman because they think he's our protector, he's our savior. And I think you find out a lot with DC characters is that in their own city, their own world, the vast majority of opinion towards them is they're liked. Whereas in Marvel, it's often feared or hated. And I think that's realistic because, like with Spider-Man, if he was actually real, loads of people would slag him off.
Yeah.
You know. Did you hear about that real Batman?
No.
I just suddenly remembered. There's a guy
I'm Batman
dressed up as Batman who's been beating people up, or he's been
Right, like Casey Jones.
yeah, beating people up. I can't remember. Yeah, and it was like loads of people started slagging him off, but he was actually stopping criminals.
Oh, did I dream it?
And stuff. Anyway, Batman's the best film ever. Dark Knight is not, but
Yes, it is.
good choice anyway, Sonny. So
Well, it is this week. You know,
next week it'll be
next week it
Spider-Man.
could be anything because there is quite a few I've not seen and I'm still looking to watch.
You got to watch you got to watch Flash, not the Flash. You got to watch Flash Gordon.
Flash.
Gordon. He likes short biscuits. All right. Well,
What
thanks.
about Aquaman?
I don't know. You're dressed as him. I thought you was going to put him in your film. Put
Mm.
him in your list. Why'd you dress as Aquaman?
Because the only costume I got, and you said I had to wear a costume.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I was wearing this anyway, so I'm going out today.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Next week, I will mostly be watching Leon the Professional. Have you seen Leon?
Yes.
Yes, fantastic film.
Not a Snyder. He's a
The Snyder cut. it's about 4 hours long.
It's the assassin
Him
and
picking
the
different bullets.
assassin and the girl, isn't it?
Yeah, Natalie Portman, one of her earliest, right? And
Yeah.
Gary Oldman and Jean Reno, where he plays an Italian hitman, but he's got like a French accent.
Is he meant to be an Italian?
He's supposed to be
Do
Italian.
you know what? I've not seen that movie since I was very young.
And it's meant to be goes. Apparently, this Italian hitman came in and smashed up the place. You think no one who listened to him would have thought he was Italian. Medusa. Anyway, it's great. It's a great film. I freaking love it. I like the theatrical cut. I don't like the director's cut because director's cut makes it a bit too sordid. But anyway, please like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, share. Make sure you share this a lot.
I cut all that out now.
You know, share.
Ben done that in the last video. I cut it all out, so you just shit, and it just that's it. So please like, subscribe, and
Share.
all right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Took Tammy away.
What?
Down the corridor.
Kathy! Where's Kathy?
They'll kill each other now.
Oh, really?